Tottenham have just beaten Nottingham Forest, a spirited Nottingham Forest, 3-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In the end, it was a game of, I'd say, 1 3/4 halves. We started the game well, first 15 minutes, got the lead through an own goal, well set up by Timo Werner, and then just kind of, I don't know, relaxed back on our laurels a little bit, let Forest back in, gave them confidence, gave them momentum, they got an equaliser, and by the end of the first half, you'd say Forest maybe deserved to be in the lead. However, Big Ange did what Big Ange does, made early changes at half-time, brought on Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Rodrigo Bentancur, and Forest didn't really get a kick after that. I'm here with Amir. We watched it together. Amir, what is your kind of overall first thought on that result?
I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy with the way the second half went. The changes that Ange made were, like you said, perfect. They were, midfield, we weren't exactly controlling the game. Bissouma and Sarr didn't look, that solid in there. As soon as Højbjerg and Bentancur came into that middle, we started to really function and we started to run things in that midfield. It had to come from a Mickey van der Ven thunderbolt, but the second we got in our noses in front, it only looked like Tottenham were going to win that game. So thanks to Mickey's thunderbolt, we went 2-1 up, and then Porro did the rest, got the third for us. I'm delighted with the win. And I just think that this is a huge building block. We were speaking before the game about this being a potential banana skin, and it really was one for me. And at some point, after that first half, I thought, here we go again.
Yeah.
So this for me is huge that we've won this. Big 3 points, big building block going into that fourth place runoff for the Champions League. And yeah, I'm really happy with that one.
Yeah, and of course that does take us into 4th place now with a game in hand over Aston Villa, and we've got a good goal difference there as well compared to them. So we go to Newcastle next away. They've got a lot of injuries at the moment, but they do look good with the likes of Harvey Barnes and Isak up front. But they've got a lot of defensive injuries. We'll definitely make chances. Anyway, we'll get on to that. Let's go back to the start of this game, I think. Timo Werner was responsible for us breaking the deadlock today, as he does time and time again today. I'd say on at least 3 or 4 occasions he got to the byline and got good crosses in. There were, I should say, devil's advocate, there were times he got to the byline and didn't play a good cross in, but that's what you'd expect from any wing player. And it was totally his work that got that own goal.
He's an assist without an assist.
Yeah.
He did all the work for it, and he did it again and again, Timo. He comes in for a lot of stick for his, missed opportunities and stuff like that, and I can understand why people get frustrated. I get frustrated when someone misses an easy opportunity. But having said all that, he really does put on a great shift on the left there. He creates havoc, he takes his man on, and when he does put in a fantastic ball like that, all you have to do is get on the end of it and you're going to get a goal. So for me, Werner, really, really good display today.
Yeah, and even in the first half, there was another almost identical moment where Werner did it, got it across, and Brennan Johnson made that trademark Brennan Johnson. No, I'm talking about the one he did. Trademark Brennan Johnson run, got a good finish on it, and the keeper's just kind of spread himself, and it's hit him. Very lucky. And then, as you mentioned, I think in the second half, a similar one, and Johnson that time didn't gamble and was livid with him.
Yeah.
So that was the 16th minute where we went 1-0 up. 27th minute, we just gave Anthony Elanga the freedom of Tottenham down the right-hand side, and he was easily able to pick out Chris Wood in the middle, who slotted it home.
Easy goal.
For us, or we mentioned it at the time, but for me, I would say that goal is why Pierre-Emile Højbjerg came on at half-time, because I think Ange has realised that in games like that, we need a more measure of control. And I know he doesn't believe that Højbjerg offers as much going forward, but we need a number 6 who is going to cover us when we let teams in behind our fullbacks. And that's what happened for that equaliser.
I think that role is actually the key to sorting out this system. If you have a number 6 in there who that's his specific role, that's what he does. He breaks up the play. He helps out the defence. That's all he does. I think if we have someone like that, we maybe concede 15 less goals a season. And that's, for me, is where we need to be looking in the summer.
Pierre Højbjerg came on at half-time. I would say there's been some talk this season of Højbjerg playing much better when he comes on rather than when he starts. Maybe it can be easier for him when he's not feeling the pressure of having to be the quarterback in that 6 role as well. But that's just a thought. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Maybe. Then it was the 52nd minute after we made the halftime changes of Højbjerg and Bentancur, where Mickey van der Ven got the ball given to him by Heung-min Son on the edge of the box, takes a touch onto his left foot and then just laces it, absolutely rifles it into the top bins. And how excited was he to get that goal, Amir?
I'm just delighted for the kid. Honestly, it's a thunderbolt, just a thunderbolt of a left foot. Gone straight into the top corner. You can see what it means to him to get us in the lead. He's fully poised. I don't think everyone quite realises it, but we've got one of the best young centre-backs in the world on our hands here in young Mickey van der Ven. Absolutely stunning. All these arguments, if you remember before, about Tosin or this one or Skriniar or that one. Yeah. We went for the right player.
Yeah, we've got the right player. And there was actually a moment in that second half which might go kind of unsaid by the Sky commentators, but Mickey van der Ven just put on the afterburners to put pressure on one of their players, and the fans applauded him, gave him a standing ovation as if he'd scored a goal himself.
He deserves it.
And he was given man of the match by Alan Smith on Sky, and I would say that he was my man of the match as well. We actually scored 2 goals in 5 minutes at the beginning of that second half. In the 57th minute, Pedro Porro with a beautiful finish at the back stick from a Maddison cross. James Maddison did well to get to the byline on the left, takes a left-footed cross, and Bentancur makes a good run front stick, flicks it on. We don't know whether for sure he was meaning to flick it on, but it comes to Porro. It's bounced once, but it's quite high up, and he's got under it and roof of the net. And we've been calling for Pedro Porro to have more shots, and he did today, and he got his goal.
Yeah, he got his goal, and in general, we took a lot more shots. You saw Bissouma in the first half taking shots. And, for me, that's something I want to see every game. I think we have the ability to beat players and keepers from far away. You even saw Højbjerg in that second half. He took a fantastic shot from outside the box, made the keeper make a save. So it's great to see. Porro's first Premier League goal as well.
Of the season, yeah.
Yeah, really, really fantastic for him. Delighted. And overall, I'm just happy for the team because it really was a team performance today. Everyone played their part. The midfielders that came on off the subs bench really had an influence. Our defenders, I thought, apart from Van der Ven, who was obviously phenomenal, man of the match, Romero was incredible today. Yeah. Fantastic. Gave you, a lot of ease there at the back. And even Captain Sonny, although it wasn't a standout performance, classic, his goals that he running past players and banging them in, I think he really worked hard for the team, never stopped running. And we all fought for each other. And I think that's what I'm taking from this performance. It was a real fight to the death. And I'm just delighted that we can go up to Newcastle with good vibes and just go out, see how we do. It's going to be a tough trip up there. But I hope we can come back with something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to come on to Newcastle. I want to just talk about Rodrigo Bentancur. He came on at half-time. I was surprised before the game and said on this stream I was surprised that he didn't start because I was very impressed with how he played against West Ham. I wonder if there was a little injury niggle, but because as soon as he came on, and Højbjerg as well, but Bentancur just offers us some control in midfield that I just don't feel like Sarr is able to do, particularly in these games against low blocks. Where I do think Sarr is excellent, actually, is in games where the other teams are coming at us and he's able to run into big open spaces and use his engine to get back and forth. But tell me what your thoughts were on Bentancur's second half performance.
I thought he was fantastic. I thought he came on, got on the ball, managed to spread it well, in the tackle, winning the ball, winning his duels. I think he's such a silky player on the ball. He's just fantastic. And whenever he's out, he's injured, you really miss him there in the middle. So for me, like I said, I want to see a midfield of Sarr, Bentancur and Maddison, just to see what it looks like. And I wouldn't even say no to switching up, a Sarr with even Højbjerg, putting him as a 6, seeing that.
I completely agree, and I said it in the stream. It would surprise me massively if Højbjerg didn't start against Newcastle. He had a very important change on the game today, positive change on the game. It's worth talking about how important that 3 points was, considering Aston Villa drew against Brentford at home yesterday, a match they would have been expected to win, and Manchester United in the end only got a point against Liverpool at Old Trafford today in a game where they were leading with only kind of 10 minutes or so to go. Spurs now, I think, go 11 points, is it?
11 points.
Ahead of Manchester United in that kind of battle for 4th or 5th place. Obviously, Aston Villa are still there or thereabouts, and Spurs do have a difficult run of games. But I've been saying it for a while, and you can absolutely call me on this if it's proven to be completely wrong. But I think Spurs are better against the teams who come at us. And now we're going to have a run of games. Newcastle away. Newcastle's fans will insist that they get on the front foot against us. And yes, I'm worried about Isak. I'm worried about Anthony Gordon. I think Harvey Barnes is a great player. But do I think we'll make chances in behind them?
Loads.
Absolutely.
Loads of chances.
Absolutely. So I think that'll be a high-scoring affair. And then we're talking about Arsenal at home. And for me, I said it to Amir before the start of this game, it's looking more and more to me like we've got to take the responsibility on ourselves to stop Arsenal from winning the league. And that might involve making it the most horrible atmosphere ever in a North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Let's do it. Let's get them all sent off.
Let's just do whatever it takes. Let's not do what we did against Chelsea, where we got overly pumped and got men sent off. Let's not lose our heads. But in that game, anyway, that's 2 away. I think the next game, I wanted to, just before we go, talk about, this was the last game today against Forest in what we always discuss as those kind of winnable period of games. And the only games we slipped up in were kind of West Ham away, where I wouldn't have ever thought that we'd get 3 points, to be honest. I would have had that down as a draw, and we got a draw. And the Wolves and Fulham games, I guess, are the ones that were disappointing. So, you know, whenever Ange has had a setback, always bounce back.
He has, and that's credit to him, and also big credit to Ange today with the subs. He made the decision to make 2 subs in the midfield, which is quite unusual.
Yeah.
You don't usually see that. But it worked perfectly. The 2 players that he brought on slipped into the team, improved it, made us better, and we ended up getting the win. So delighted for him and the whole team, and big march up to St James's Park next weekend.
Absolutely.
Huge game.